This is Michael Kowalski, writer and performer of Mothman, True Story, and you are listening to the Unbelievers podcast. I know you wouldn't like it.
There were several groups. One of the principal ones was the reptilians from the Orion complex.
Without any exaggeration, it was like being on fire inside.
Rats were eating you up inside.
This stuff was in my mouth. It felt like it was 500 degrees. It was unbelievably hot.
My first question would be, were you a member of the Church of Satan, a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan? I don't understand.
There's always an argument for everything. You know, just because somebody can fake something doesn't necessarily mean it's
war, and we found a life form. And that's when I started shitting my pants.
So for the person who called, I am carrying an alien.
An alien baby recovers right here, okay?
Okay.
Something is happening. What is it? That's the question. So do UFOs exist? It depends on what you mean exist.
UFOs, or unidentified flying objects, have been witnessed in the skies for centuries, garnering mainstream attention in the 1940s with Kenneth Arnold's flying saucer sightings, leading to more and more sightings around the world. Tonight, the Unbelievers podcast looks to the skies again to discuss even more unexplained aerial phenomenon, this time from overseas. Are Scottish men being assaulted by aliens? We don't know. What are jellyfish spraying on small towns in Portugal? We don't know. Will our senior European correspondent help shed some light on these international incidents? Yes, he will. So join us now for this Unbelievers podcast crossover special. It's UFO Europe. Right here on the program, we continue to learn to unlearn everything you know. Hello and welcome to the Unbelievers podcast. I'm your host, Russ Ryan, and joining me as always is my co-host, Drea Mora. Hello, Drea.
What's up, Russ?
And our first-time co-host, Kay Mill. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Doing great. And our soundboard engineer and producer, Rob Oakey.
Why does he smell like this? Why does he act like this?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I have no idea, Rob. So Kay Mill, first-time guest, man, the host of I Don't Know podcast. We've been wanting to have you on for months. We finally got it together. Thank you for being on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I love listening to your show, and we are kind of always circling the same topics in the same world, and you always get a real fun angle. And one thing I noticed, and I want Unbelievers to go listen, I don't know. If you'll notice, Kay Mill cannot say the word folklore. He always says folklore. He says it at least 2 times an episode. Every time I hear it, I go, all right, good. K Mill out there represent.
That's the best way to pronounce it, honestly. Like,
it's more of a homage to you guys.
Yeah, ever since that episode of, what did we cover? It was Mountain Monsters?
Yeah, that's like the first mountain monster.
Just like they described in the folklore.
Amen. That's the best way to pronounce it. Everybody should switch it over to folklore.
Well, that's how they described it in the folklore, so.
It's true. They did.
I think it's Old English.
You know what? I think you're right, actually. It may actually be written like that.
It dates back to the early English mountain men.
It makes me feel good. Old English mountain men. Is that like the ones who drink 40s of Old English?
That's right. And speaking of English, like I said, let's get into it now because we have a fun topic for tonight. It's UFO Europe.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Flying high in my machine, made of G10 foil sheets, the worst design that I've ever seen. You know I keep my spaceship clean, free from germs and allergens and wings.
All right, rolling it out for K Mill. That's K Mill's buddy right there.
Those are my buddies, yeah.
That's right.
Nice. That one sounded a little bit Beatles-ish. That's what it made me think about that.
I thought it was the Beatles at first.
It's called Space Walrus, so I guess they're going for that.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. Nailed it.
Yeah,
so they're leaning into it. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's who K Mill's theme is. Same band, great band. But tonight we will be discussing UFOs with our special guest K Mill, and he's the perfect person to discuss this documentary miniseries, UFO Europe: The Untold Stories. Now, this thing, UFO Europe, is a National Geographic series from 2012 that just very recently appeared on that streaming service, DisneyPlus.
which I gotta
You
say,
named it.
I was very surprised by, in a good way, because there is nothing else like this on DisneyPlus. So I want to give a shout out to the Unbeliever on Twitter who posted the new DisneyPlus listings, and UFO Europe was in there. This is a weird thing to find.
I mean, it's good that they're doing that. I didn't realize that they had documentaries at all. So everyone's probably trying to compete with that other streaming service that shall not be named.
Well, they're buying everything. So in part of that includes National Geographic. And everybody knows National Geographic every once in a while likes to dip their toes into the UFO world, or at least into the world of just the strange and the unknown things that are out there.
Yeah, well, it's out there now. And I got to say, I was really intrigued by this. I love UFOs. I'm a big fan of Europe. It's a great continent. And I enjoy Untold Stories. So this looks like it has all of those things. So let's get into it. This show tells us about 3 untold UFO stories of Europe every episode. And I have selected a few that I want to talk about tonight. But before that, let's get a feel for what we're in store for. Here's the intro to UFO Europe, Untold Stories.
Our skies are full of mysteries. Unidentified flying objects secretly investigated by government agencies all over Europe for decades. For the first time, we've collated sightings and reports from across an entire continent. Some experts insist many sightings have rational explanations, but some continue to defy understanding.
That's an object that flies, and I don't know what it is.
Are these visitors from other worlds or natural phenomena? And do our European governments know more than they ever reveal to us? The answers may lie in the untold stories of the UFO files of Europe.
Yes, an entire continent of files. And I had to cut a few people out of that intro to just even make it that short, even though it was long. But I had to leave this in. Please play soundboard 1. And this is for you, K. Mill.
That's an object that flies, and I don't know what it is.
All right. There you go. A little, I don't know reference
He didn't
already.
say it as cool as K. Mill does, though.
So when you saw this first, K. Mill, were you like excited that just an entire UFO Europe thing is kind of suddenly showing up as the only content on Disney Plus like this?
Yeah, I was completely unaware of it. And I like that the guy that introduced it sounds like a cheap Alec Guinness.
He does. He really does.
He's got a very relaxing voice. That's one thing I will say about this guy. It kind of it makes you sit back in your seat and kind of get comfortable when you're watching the show.
I did sit back in my seat and I did nod like that, like Rob
Yes.
did. But it also, I don't know, this wasn't made specifically for Disney or anything, right?
No,
But
this was made.
It sounds like it was.
This was made in 2012 for National Geographic.
Right,
Which,
right.
never heard of it. He never heard of this particular one.
I've never
I
heard of National
guess,
Geographic.
Yeah, I guess Europe was just hoarding all this stuff. So the main premise of the show is that the governments in Europe, they have hidden UFO files to be revealed now. So I don't know if we don't have a wheel. I'd say spin the wheel, K-Mill of Europe, and wherever it lands, this file is unsealed. So let's see what this first file is.
9th of November, 1979, Livingston, Scotland. 10:30 a.m. In a lonely Scottish woodland, 61-year-old forestry worker Bob Taylor has an astonishing encounter.
He's looking at the sky, and there in front of him was this massive big dome-shaped object.
Smaller balls roll towards him.
These objects were shaped like sea mines with about 6 legs attached.
This is the only British UFO incident ever investigated by the police as a criminal assault.
Whoa. So this is Bob Taylor of Livingston, Scotland. He's getting assaulted by balls, UFO balls.
I thought I heard that wrong.
They weren't big. Play soundboard 2. Yeah, we'll get an idea of what these things were.
Smaller balls roll towards him.
Wow.
So they just rolled towards him menacingly.
Very menacingly. Yeah, they assaulted him. This is the first person ever to be assaulted by a UFO's balls. And the police have to get involved with it, apparently.
And Scotland isn't really known for UFOs. It's basically known for men wearing skirts, deep fried food, and heroin.
A little Nessie thrown in, too, yeah.
Well, now they're known for balls as well. That's
yeah. Spaceballs.
Yeah. Oh, Spaceballs.
Technically, I mean, if you were going to be technical with them.
Yeah, we'll find out because they are, I think. Because an expert in this case is a UFO researcher named Malcolm Robinson, and he loves this case. Bob Taylor, that guy who was assaulted by those UFO balls, he has since passed on. So now, researcher Robinson, he has reached out to Taylor's family, and he was able to go in the woods and retrace Bob's steps from that European day.
This is the area where Robert Taylor was walking down that morning, and it wasn't until he approached this clearing that he stood transfixed when he saw something which totally bemused him. He's looking at the sky, and there in front of him was this massive big domed-shaped object, and he's standing there. He's absolutely bemused at what he's looking at, and then suddenly what resembled 2 Second World War sea mines dropped very, very forcibly from the underside of this hovering object and hit the ground. And they started rolling across the grass, and they started to project these rod-like projections from these spherical balls towards his person and grabbed him very, very forcibly at his hips and pulled him right down.
What? The balls shot rods at him? What's going on here?
In 1999. Those rods are huge, man.
Well, okay, I can see the assault now. As soon as he described it as like World War II, the mines, underwater mines, I'm like, yeah, just seeing them rolling towards me alone, that's assault.
Yeah, what do you think he means by the rods, K-Mill? Is he saying this thing has like metal arm things like a mine would have? Is that what he means by the rods in here? Or is it like shooting these things at him?
I don't know, rods and balls. It sounds like a giant COVID thing or something.
Yeah, it does kind of just sound like COVID is rolling around in this guy's direction. It's a strange description. Never heard anything like it. No. They describe it as World War II mines, like underwater.
Yeah, like
mines.
Sea mines, like like a ball with a bunch of rods sticking out of it. I guess that's a pretty good description.
Sea mines, yeah. That's
also, just to say, I've been to Scotland, so if you need any interpretations, I should be able to do it for you.
Oh, that'd be great.
Need one here. Play Soundboard 3. I'm not sure what this is.
And they started to project these rod-like projections from these spherical balls towards his person and grabbed him very, very forcibly.
Okay, never mind. I think I kind of understand.
Yeah, I mean,
I think actually that's so wordy for a soundboard clip. Try 4. And I had to here's a shorter version for you guys.
And they started to project these rod-like projections from these spherical balls.
Okay.
Nice.
And I want to say, just for the record, I am not searching this out. Balls That Shoot Rods is on DisneyPlus, and I did not go specifically looking for this clip and say, "Hey, Nate, let's do a whole episode." Because I think
that's exactly what happened.
It's just a nice bonus. I saw this. I thought it was a good show. I got into it, and then all of a sudden, boom, rod balls.
No, I believe you. Balls and rods are just attracted to in your life. That's the law of attraction, Russ. You're about rods.
Russ has never gone looking for a rod. Rods always find Russ somehow.
I always follow Skyfish protocol. It calls for that. After this happens, he notices a terrible smell after he gets attacked, and then he just passes out. And he eventually staggers home and tells his wife what happened. He tells his wife that aliens attacked him, and she just assumes he hit his head. So she takes him to the hospital, where doctors find this.
Taylor has cuts to his legs and seems confused.
It looked as if someone had used a rotating disc, a grinder or something, to grind through his trousers where his hips were. Not something that you can easily imagine could happen in any normal way. And also a mark under his chin, about 1 inch square, appeared to have been grazed.
Because of the forester's injuries, the police launch a criminal investigation.
That's assault! That is assault!
Yeah, he was assaulted. And now the law has to step in. This is a very, very weird. Is it just because they found him at the hospital like that?
I mean, I don't know, but I appreciate that they're taking that kind of initiative and immediately just assuming that there's been a crime committed and not just like, this guy's fucking crazy or drunk. Forget his story.
Let me put it this way. If I came home late at night with holes in my trousers, I don't think my wife would be so understanding.
Yeah. Let's just say that these people are very accommodating to his circumstances.
No. I was walking around the woods. It was balls, rods. Take me to the hospital.
I mean, come on, they're just grinded off in areas. I don't like what could grind off your pants? That just doesn't nothing about that phrase sounds right.
Nope. You can't word that in any way that doesn't make me think that it was some kind of strip bar.
Yeah, like a really rough stripper experience.
Really aggressive lap dance.
Or it's in the woods, so it could be a really bad dogging experience.
There you go. I mean,
if you don't know what dogging is, don't Google it.
It's too late. I'm Googling it now.
No, the dogging aside, this is actually a real investigation. This is very historic. It's almost like the Reeds. And some of the evidence is remarkable.
Following his statement, Taylor's torn trousers are sent away for forensic analysis.
Detectives were there taking samples and photographs, and this was a full investigation by the Criminal Investigation Department.
The next piece of evidence is found by police in the woods at the scene of the sighting.
The police went to the site and they found a series of mysterious marks on the ground, almost like some kind of vehicle with a caterpillar track had been driving backwards and forwards over the grass in this clearing.
All right, so this case is building. You got a sighting, you got an attack of a credible witness. Everybody likes this guy. He's a Scottish gentleman, and there's real physical evidence. They said they found marks on the ground. It looked like some kind of tractor plate around there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that has to do with anything, because if it was balls with rods sticking out of it, I'm not sure it would look like a tractor.
Maybe the balls are dragging on the ground or something.
Yeah, maybe they're rolling on those rods, like they're the metal protrusions. They're like rolling on them like a sea mine and making. I don't know if that would look like a tractor, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, they can't constantly be in assault mode. They have to at times rest and be dragged along, like Kamil said.
It's very interesting. I think they point out that how often do you get physical evidence like this? It's very rare.
Tracks? Yeah, that's true. I mean, UFOs are usually hovering, blasting trees down, not usually ground moving.
Actually, imprints. I mean, we've heard of
pants.
In the pants, yeah, and you have
grinding holes in trousers.
That's true too. The pants. I mean, I'm not even talking about the pants. The pants is a whole nother thing.
I feel like the pants.
I think the pants thing could have happened in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Maybe connected to this, maybe not connected to this. But the markings on the ground, I think, do help his story. Part of this is that it makes it so tough is that this guy isn't there to be spoken to really tell his story. This is all through secondhand and through his family's accounts and stuff. And the only pictures they ever show of him is like one picture of him looking disheveled and looking like very unhappy with this frown on his face.
Like he's been assaulted.
Just not like somebody who you would want to even ask what happened. Like I don't know. It's very.
I don't want to talk about it.
The story is what most Scotsmen actually look like.
Really? That's just how all Scotsmen look with that giant frown on his face?
I don't think a lot of Scotsmen are up for shenanigans.
He's frowning. I think we should talk to him.
He looks like the human version of Grumpy Cat. He's just like very unhappy, this man in the picture, and just very disheveled looking. Looks like something like happened to him before the picture.
All right, Rob,
was
don't talk about
accident.
Scottish people like that.
Like the Scottish.
It's just what they look like. And we're just kidding. We love Scottish people.
As impressive as this evidence is, this case is about to get rocked with this stunning revelation.
The police made an official sketch as evidence of the marks they had seen.
They indicated that an object of several tons had stood there, but there was nothing to show it had been driven or towed away.
And it was perplexing because it's very, very rare that you come across physical evidence.
But in 2012, 33 years after the event, comes a startling revelation from Bob Taylor's son-in-law. David Hammond now believes that a sketch he created may have misled people about whether the UFO had legs.
Are you kidding me? You talking about this sketch that I'm just learning about now has been inaccurate this whole time?
He's like, no, that was from my journal. That wasn't about that. That was a different drawing.
I don't know. Somebody should be fired for that. This guy's been saying for this whole second that he did a sketch and did it wrong.
Well, there's been rods the whole time. These markings could be from the rods. That's what I initially thought, was that maybe they found the markings from these balls that managed to head towards him, but they're actually talking about the feet of the craft itself.
Yeah, that's got legs. This is, I think, the first time we're hearing about UFOs with legs.
Technically, they should, right?
Well, no, the balls have the legs, not the UFO. The UFO is hovering above.
Balls have rods.
Rod legs, sure. Yeah.
It's rods on your balls.
The balls were detached, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they dropped right on this guy.
Jesus, that sounds
ripped
painful.
His pants up.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's what UFOs are about. They just get on their level.
This whole sketch thing, this is a bombshell. So let's hear what this so-called artist has to say for himself.
I had suggested to Bob that this object, which he'd said was in the air, and the marks on the ground must have been connected in some way. He agreed with me. But afterwards, I'd realised that I had led him to that. It wasn't something that he'd offered. And so I felt slightly guilty about it.
Wait, what's going on again?
Leading the witness.
Leading the witness, exactly.
He's like, maybe they look like this. And the whole point of that is the indentions that they saw on the ground, they matched the sketch that this guy did. So if the indentions aren't matching the sketch, then the indentions don't really mean anything. They're not lining up with his story. I think that's what he's going for. Did I translate that all right, K-Mill?
Yeah, I think so. It wasn't spoken in the best way, to be honest.
Yeah, he just turned like a sheepish apology into being like, yeah, this case could be all wrong. Sorry, old chum. He's like, he's gone now, so.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. It sounds like, I mean, he could have made a drawing to match the story, like the physical evidence, but
he just drew what he wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just shit at art.
He is. I don't think I could pull that off, but I don't know. Let's see what this new revelation means for UFO Europe.
It's quite possible that those marks were there on the ground before this incident actually happened. So maybe there had been some four-wheel drive vehicle there of some description that had left those marks. Bob Taylor had come along, had this experience, whatever the source of it was, and there's no obvious connection between the two things. So they don't really prove that there was an alien spacecraft or something extraordinary there. They just add to the overall mystery.
No, a four-wheeler doesn't add to a UFO landing and assault mystery. That's actually the opposite. It makes it less mysterious if you think there's a four-wheeler a few days before.
It's a whole other layer you weren't expecting, though.
I wasn't expecting that
it.
Nothing probably happened. No, they were building me up for something.
It'd be something if there were crop circles or something really unexplainable, but the way they first described it, looks like a tractor. Why are you going to try to tie that into a UFO thing where balls assaulted you?
I think it just taints Bob's memory as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just muddies it up.
You got to look at both sides sometimes. I think in this situation, it's one of those things where it's a clearing in the woods we're talking about, right? And generally, there aren't just clearings in the woods for no reason. There's like a clearing in the woods because it's a campsite or because people go there. There's a trail. There's like a trail there or something, or where the trees meet. There's usually like a reason why there's a clearing. So I think it's, at least they're looking at the possibilities. It's nice to see a story sometimes where they are up front with you and they're like, listen, it could just be a tractor or someone put a trailer there, but it also could be a UFO, and that's very mysterious. It's nice sometimes to get both sides.
Those things being sent down, those could be the things clearing the woods for all we know. I don't know.
That's true.
You brought up it could be in his head, too. Yeah, there is mystery surrounding Bob Taylor. Could this all just be in his head? Let's find out.
A year before this encounter, Bob Taylor had suffered a series of inexplicable headaches for which he'd gone to his doctor and received treatment, and they'd never got to the bottom of what was causing it.
There's a theory suggested that Robert Taylor ingested some wild berries in the forest. Now, these berries have the name of Atropa belladonna. They're very, very dangerous because if you ingest these berries, you can die. If you rub the berry fruit on your hand or your wrist, you can suffer hallucinations.
Yeah, so it could have been headaches or berries. Is that common in Europe, K-Mill? Or in Scotland, are they smearing berries on their hands and their face?
It's more common than you actually think because I actually did almost die from eating something strange in the forest when I was a kid.
Do tell, please.
I actually accidentally ate hemlock, mistaking it for a parsnip, and was in a coma for a week.
Wow.
So that's actually more common than you think.
Oh my God, I've talked about that with people. Like, they look very, very similar. But yeah,
I made the Sun newspaper.
So after that, you weren't rubbing any berries on your wrists. You were
I'm not
far
going
away
to the
from
country
all that
after
stuff.
that. Yeah,
yeah, I don't blame you.
See, I heard that about like belladonna, that women used to. I don't know if it was like put it in their eye. They'd make a tincture of it and put it in their eyes to like basically dilate their pupils or something to make them look more beautiful. But then they'd get hallucinations and they could die from
UFO balls rolling around.
It.
Well, his daughter, Bob Taylor's daughter, he claims that he was a gardener and that he wouldn't he's not a guy that's just going to be eating random berries, and he wouldn't know better. So she's sticking with his story. So far,
he should have told us that. That would have been a main part of the story, I think. If he was
that he could have been eating wild berries out there.
I was walking around. I saw some berries. They were delicious, by the way.
Anyway,
then I saw a UFO. It would have been really
related.
nice if he included that in the story. If that's actually what happened.
Well, he just said that it's not likely. His family was like, no, he doesn't eat random.
He's not into that.
No, that's the sort of thing that stupid kids do.
Yeah, exactly. Only K-Mill does that shit.
Yeah, this guy's like in his early 60s. He's out there trucking around. He's looking for four-wheelers, eating berries.
Is that a berry?
He's bemused.
So they built the story up and they kind of took it apart. So far, the drawing is inaccurate. It doesn't match. The guy had a headache. He might have eaten berries. There was a four-wheeler that passed through, but they still have something very, very compelling.
Very, very compelling.
Police did have more than just Taylor's word for what happened that day. They also had a vital piece of tangible evidence under analysis: the torn trousers.
These are actually the trousers that Robert Taylor wore on that eventful day. Now, as you can see, this is a very heavy ripped tear on the left-hand side of these trousers. Now, these are heavy-duty material. This is actually police-issue trousers. And as we can see on the left-hand side of the trousers, we have another tear. The forensic report clearly states this was not made by any forest debris, sharp stones, sticks, barbed wire fencing. It is my contention that these rips in these trousers were made by some device that attached itself to Robert Taylor's trousers, pulling them very, very forcibly upwards.
He got pantsed. He got pantsed by the UFO. It ripped him and pulled him up. And boy, that guy say trousers a lot, huh?
I liked it.
Did you?
More.
You know there's a supercut. Let's hear Soundboard 5.
The torn trousers.
The trousers, left-hand side of these trousers. Now, these police-issue trousers, left-hand side of the trousers, and these trousers to Robert Taylor's trousers upwards.
You stop. Okay, I'm too excited now. I love the word trousers. You know that.
He does too.
Police issued. How is that? Is he former police? Did I miss that detail?
Hey, I was going to say, is that a Scottish thing? Is stolen valor okay over there?
I'm guessing Livingstone doesn't really have that much crime.
Yeah, so he probably picked him up at a thrift store, like a secondhand store that was turned in previously by a policeman.
There's a policeman running around with like some farmer's
trousers.
pants on or something while he's doing his job, and he's just like, I don't know where these came from. My good pants just disappeared one day, and this guy's running around with policeman pants in the woods.
Trousers.
Policeman trousers.
Please.
I'm sorry,
Use the
trousers,
proper
of course. It's hard.
Clearing.
All these years of saying pants, I should learn to say trousers.
Just play that clip a million times in your head, and you're
the
there.
Torn trousers.
Now, did I catch that also correctly? That he said that there was a device attached to it, like this. There's a specific trouser tearing device that they set on this guy.
Yeah, that's how they got him in the ship. This guy is proposing the idea that he was pulled to the ship by his pants.
And what is this, like an old-timey UFO? They don't have that blue beam yet? They're like trying to literally pull guys up by their pants?
These are different guys.
These are some advanced trouser-pulling devices. It's beyond our understanding.
Yeah, these guys sound like they're just kinkier than the other extraterrestrials that usually come here. These ones know what they want. They're going straight for their trousers.
You know what he probably had to do?
I remember gripping my belt buckle with my...
just to make sure that they didn't pull him right off of him, you know?
Oh, man, I think they would have gone for that belt buckle, too. I don't know. I'm feeling uncomfortable.
It's weird, man. That's aggressive for aliens. We don't hear of that kind of stuff.
No.
Like, it's not usual for aliens to rip your clothes up.
Not like that.
It's barbaric.
There's a lot of things going on in him. And Bob Taylor, he stuck to his guns throughout his whole life, even in the face of ridicule and name-calling from his own community.
But despite the name-calling, Bob Taylor's character was never in doubt, and he was considered by investigators as a reliable witness.
He does come over as a completely straight, down-to-earth man who had no reason to invent a story of this magnitude. What was to be gained from it?
He never once suggested that he may have imagined it. He firmly believed that he saw what he said he saw.
Bob Taylor's case strikes me as a really good example of a genuine eyewitness account of an inexplicable phenomenon.
Everybody loves him, and I believe him. This is a very strange event.
Look, I always believe people, especially when they don't come at it with any weird, like, fake evidence. And so if all you have to show for it is torn trousers, then obviously you're not grasping for weird stuff. You're like, look, this happened for sure. But when you have like the fakeness that has accompanied a lot of other ones, like with the fake little UFO models and everything.
Yeah, like a Billy Meyer or something like
that.
He doesn't seem to be trying to draw attention to himself at all.
Right. No, not at all. And I don't think his family wanted it. He did rare interviews. He's not like he's out there selling books. He's on some kind of circuit doing stuff.
He's not like Tom Reed, really, is what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
Shot fire! Come at me, Tom. Come at me.
Yeah, you love it. You gotta love
fine.
it.
He's my best friend. but that's gonna it. We got a couple more. But what'd you guys think of that story? What'd you think, K-Mill?
I think I believe him. He's not trying to draw attention to himself. Scottish people aren't known for having a sense of humor or anything like that about anything. So
for being creative in any way. No.
Yeah, I think he says what he saw.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, really just a straight shooting guy. Like,
I think we're all gonna agree. Hey, look at that.
I think
there's more though.
K-Mill nailed it before when he said that this town is so quiet that like nothing happens here. So that led to these guys setting up this whole investigation. These detectives doing this deep forensic study on the site and everything. I think literally the fact that the town was such a quiet little sleepy town led to them doing this advanced investigation on this weird UFO story, which is a strange but cool thing that happened.
Yeah, I think the cops are just excited that they got to use the car.
Exactly.
Yeah, they finally got to use their police-issued trousers.
Yeah, they got to go like in their four-wheelers and out there and just, not actually worry about anything possibly ever really happening to them. So they probably didn't believe it themselves, but it was a lot of fun for
something to investigate, finally.
It was. Yeah. But there's more, though. We're going to get out of Scotland because just like the Griswolds, we're jumping all around Europe, and this time, let's free another file.
Évora, Portugal, 2nd of November, 1959. Unexplained, glowing objects are seen flying over the town in broad daylight. Dozens witness this strange sight. But what follows is even stranger. A mysterious white substance, like cobwebs, rains down over the town for almost 4 hours.
Yes, Évora, Portugal. They're experiencing not only UFOs, but a mysterious white substance in their air. Yes.
That's
it's
never
like webs
good.
shot around. It's really wild looking.
So they've got a lot of Spider-Men in Portugal, huh?
Yeah, play soundboard 6. They've got this.
What in the hell is this? Because they looked like spiders' webs.
Spiders' webs, yes.
Well, so this town going crazy in there.
This town is having weird spiders' webs flying all over them for 4 hours. But before we get into that, that's just the white stuff. Before we get into that, let's hear about this strange object that was seen in the sky. Dr. Joachim Amaral, a headmaster at the school, he sees a strange object in the sky. So he gets the school's telescope, and other people are witnessing this when this goes on, and then he sees this.
The shining object passes across the town and disappears. But then another object is observed above them.
Now the real drama begins, is with the second object. The second object has a particular way to fly. The second object appears just over their heads, across the sky, and when the object is about 35 degrees in angle with the horizon, they pointed the telescope over the object.
The mystery object appears to be high in the sky, but they struggle to see it clearly through the telescope.
Yeah, they explain in a different language that, so there's two objects flying over the sky right before this white stuff event, but the telescope is not helping them because this object in the sky is shimmering and phasing and you can't focus on it. It reminded me a lot of the Christo sighting, like his jellyfish that he sees.
Yeah. First of all, I appreciate that they had such details as like the angle that it was to the horizon. That lends credibility. But also, like I said, the time that we were talking with Christo, that's happened to me before. My friends and I were seeing something in the sky. We tried to get our phones on it to take a picture. It would not show up on our camera. It just wouldn't. And we didn't know how to explain that. So,
cloaking
so
abilities.
Yeah, something. It was really fucking weird.
I feel like there's a lot of videos of things out there like that. And those are definitely the most intriguing. They might not look like, they just look like a ball, but they're constantly changing colors, and there's dark phases in them, and they're shimmering, moving around. It's not right. I don't know what's going on out there.
Oh.
So here's some more about this undulating craft that they see that day.
A report made after the incident in 1959 states that it seemed to have an undulatory movement, jellyfish-like. In the top part, it possessed a very brilliant sphere that stands out from the rest. Many experts today believe that what Amaral is describing is a weather balloon. Weather balloons were very common in the 1950s, used by both the civil and military aviation industry to measure wind direction and gather scientific data.
Hurrah for science. Woo.
Yes, of course. It's the good old weather balloon. The skeptics stand by. They went to it so fast. And K-Mill, you watched a lot of this UFO Europe. How many of these stories did they immediately say weather balloon for?
Oh, weather balloons are... It's everything. If it's not 4x4s, it's weather balloons.
Yeah, right?
Weather balloons don't have tentacles and shit
They
like
don't?
that.
Oh, I thought maybe weather balloons could be different in other parts of the world because, I mean, the tentacles could be something to help them identify them. That's our
it's just a balloon.
Yeah, definitely weather balloons do not look like jellyfish because it's not just this jellyfish object that makes this case unique. It's that white stuff.
We cannot see the jellyfish from satellites. So...
falling from the sky.
That would be terrifying. I don't want jellyfish falling from the sky because, they sting. And you can get paralyzed by them.
Well, and you can't see them either.
Yeah, well, from satellites,
from the satellites, of course. Yeah,
right. But these ones, if they're, I don't know what to think of the whole thing because one, you have just like the spiderweb stuff, like that could be explained for natural reasons, but it was connected to seeing an object floating by that. Even if it were a weather balloon, what a weird coincidence,
There's even more. Play the next clip because we're going to hear about the even weirder thing.
After the passage of this object, begins to fall from the sky like cotton, a very light cotton.
At around 12:30 p.m., white filaments begin to fall out of the sky over the school. It quickly becomes nicknamed angel hair due to its delicate, magical quality. Unknown to the teachers and students in the school, they were not the only people to experience the angel hair phenomenon. 100 kilometers away at an airbase called Sintra, the same white substance also falls that morning.
Yeah, this angel hair is falling not only on the city right after a UFO experience, it's also falling on an airbase. And I don't know if calling it angel hair makes it sound wet. It looks more like cotton candy, would you say, K-Mill? Or like silly string, maybe?
It sounds more spiderish. I think they've got to forget about the whole jellyfish thing.
Yeah.
I think they throw it off by trying to recreate it, and it looks like someone just has white silly strings, just shooting it all down. It's delicately falling everywhere.
Well, I'm thinking when they call it angel hair that I'm just hungry for pasta now. I thought I wouldn't be the only person to think that, but
it's one of my favorite of all of the pastas is angel hair, and I haven't had it in years. This made me really want to go get some and make some angel hair pasta. It's so good though. I forgot it existed.
Go get some angel hair pasta after this. Rob.
Yeah, and
you guys are getting to eat before we do.
What kind of angels? Yeah, right. I do. We're doing an early episode, so I haven't had dinner yet. That's why I'm thinking about this angel hair pasta. But what kind of angels are these? This is some fluffy haired, some weird stringy haired
that are losing their hair.
Why is their hair falling out?
They're experiencing hair loss and don't talk about it. They're very self-conscious.
It looks like more like some weird nightclub with suds flying around the air. That's
like a foam party.
It's angel hair party. Because this
fun.
angel hair, like I said, it's not just witnessed at this town. It's also witnessed at the air base by top men.
General Tomas Conceição Silva is 25 years old at the time and vividly recalls the incident.
I arrived here that morning on the 2nd of November. There were all the other pilots scattered around the place. And then we looked into the sky, and there were small filaments, like spider's web, falling down from the sky. And when they got into our hands, with the warmth of the hand, they would just dissolve. we didn't understand what that was.
Yeah, so these things dissolve on touch. You think someone tried to catch one on their tongue?
Ew.
Gross. Probably. Maybe on accident.
It like tastes like ramen or something.
Oh, yeah, like this. I don't. What does angel hair taste like? I don't know. Like,
I think we know what it tastes like. It tastes like pasta. But
yeah,
no,
it's oregano and Parmesan for me usually, but I don't think in this situation.
Okay, enough about food. I'm so hungry.
This is more like spider's webs, the way this stuff is falling down. And I got to say, again, I believe it a lot more when the top military guys are saying it. What about you, K-Mill?
Well, yeah, they're top men, as you said.
They're top men.
This is Portugal's top brass. It happened to be right next to this village, and they're like, "Yeah,
you've got to trust the Portuguese military."
Yeah. Why not? They sound like they know what they're talking about.
And I got to say, you got to take my word too that a lot of the other people saw it as well, but they don't speak English, which was one big problem of this documentary. Not a problem for me if you watch it on subtitles, but it's just UFO Europe. So, some of our co-hosts didn't realize that you could put captions on and just thought I was making them watch people speak in Portuguese. And,
generally, if there's a documentary and then like most of it is in one language, and then one person just randomly starts speaking another language, there's hard subs that are usually put on the screen so that you can see what the person is saying.
That's pretty typical.
Yeah, I mean, even in the US, with a US documentary, if an English or Scottish person comes on, they put subtitles on for them.
That's true. In this, nothing. So
it's not so
you're going
stupid.
along, you're cooking along, and then all of a sudden somebody starts speaking another language, and they just, like, before you can even turn the subs on, you missed most of what they were saying. And if you don't turn those subs on, you'll just watch the whole thing and not know what anybody is saying for most of this episode.
Well, luckily on a streaming service, you can rewind it.
Yeah, you can rewind it, but just remember to turn those subs on. Otherwise, you'll be very confused.
Dude, honestly, I put on the subs when it's somebody speaking regular English. You know, it's just some people mumble. Like I know that
really they've definitely given hard subtitles to Wild Bill on Mountain Monsters. So they could have done it for these guys.
Yes,
they definitely have.
It should just be a standard.
You don't have to turn them on for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But the story gets stranger, though, because Dr. Amaral, this headmaster, he collects some samples of that angel hair, and he drives it to his friend, the Admiral Silver, who is not just an admiral, he's an amateur scientist, and he inspects this angel hair under a microscope. And here is the son of Admiral Silver describing what it was like when his father analyzed the angel hair.
I remember the astonishment of my father and Dr. Amaral, because that was quite odd. No one knew what that was, what that cell was.
They put that preparation under the microscope and saw this thing.
As part of the tests on this strange creature, Amaral takes photographs of the angel hair.
This is the central body.
The images show something with tentacles,
showing the complete central body and the tentacles.
Though they were to have a shock when trying to place these between the microscope slides.
This thing rises up his arms, let's call arms, and sustain the glass, like an intelligent being or even an insect do to not be crushed. This is a living thing, is the first conclusion of Amaral at the time.
Yeah, these spider webs, they're alive. They're trying to put this thing under a piece of glass to put under a microscope, and it's fighting it. It's pushing the glass off of it. Very weird.
That's terrifying. I didn't expect to hear this detail at all. That's because I was like, oh, cool. What did they see in the microscope? But that they couldn't even get it in the slide.
They sound almost rod-like.
Yeah,
it reminded me of something from The Thing. It looked like The Thing being put under there, this thing just wobbling around, and they're trying to get it under glass, and it just looks like stringy spiderweb cotton. And it's supposed to be alive. This is that's an alien. That's an alien.
It puts its arms up, and it's like, no, please don't.
The putting its arms up thing to stop the slide, that's special. That feels like something from Venom or something from
it shows intelligence or magnets.
Maybe, but it's got little arms. It's got little arms. And a whole bunch of them. Arms. And I don't know, it reminded me of The Arrival. I don't know if you guys have seen The Arrival. There's octopus aliens in that film. So it's totally something that could be real.
Yeah, it could be jellyfish aliens. Okay.
I was about to say, it could just be giant jellyfish alien, not a UFO. And it was just, I don't know,
tiny, right? I mean, if
Skeeting
they
all
were
over Portugal there.
If they were going to be looking at it on a microscope, then that means that they're really teeny tiny jellyfish, yeah?
It could have been skyfish.
They're spider webs. They're just webs. They're just floating around. Looks like a party.
Could have been skyfish eggs, possibly. Is that something that
I'm not willing to rule that out.
No.
These two, they analyzed the angel hair for a while, only to come to a dead end. So they send the sample of this being, this angel hair, the spider web, to a university where they conclude this.
One of the possibilities proposed by a leading scientist at the university acknowledged it can be admitted that such beings could come from the extra-atmospheric space or from another neighboring planet. But what do modern-day scientists believe the angel hair could be? Cell biologist Francisco Carapiso thinks it may be one of the billions of tiny sea-dwelling microorganisms that live in the Atlantic Ocean. These include microscopic jellyfish larvae.
Okay, so the belief here that they're saying is this could either be a microscopic organism that lives way in the upper atmosphere, like a rod. I got to give you points for that. Or it's something that lives deep in the ocean, just another cryptid.
Like sea monkeys.
Sea monkey. That could be what it is. It's just sea monkeys. That seems to be always the way that things go. There's someone's looking for a way to blame monkeys on, and this is perfect. There you go.
A way to do it for this.
Well, yeah, you've seen that episode of South Park where these sea monkeys build entire civilizations in a matter of a week. So
they were fighting to get onto that glass, so they have some kind of sentience.
Yeah.
I have to translate a lot because a lot of this was in Portuguese. But one man
the
speculated
idea that monkeys
there it comes.
was the cause of this incident was totally ridiculous.
Yeah,
totally ridiculous.
Not
right,
totally
Drea?
ridiculous. No.
Maybe not, because one guy's on your side. There's a man that speculates that a whirlwind could scoop them up and drop them in the town like a plague, like frogs. Like that this was a whirlwind event from deep in the ocean, and it just dropped spider web alien arms everywhere.
Yeah.
It reminded me of a story I had heard about, like a UFO event that happened. I think it was in the United States, maybe in like Pennsylvania or something, where there was a UFO that was seen, and then some stuff was scattered all over the area, and then people got sick in the area. And then I think there's conspiracy theorists that believe that maybe the government was testing out something. Testing it out
on
this
particular town.
Yeah, like fuck these people. We're going to test it out on these people in this area, which our government has actually done stuff like that before. It's not completely out of the question, and it just kind of makes me wonder if maybe that is something that could possibly be what's going on here. Maybe their government was testing something on these people.
Yeah, it's so easy for us to believe that about our own. I don't know, K. Mill, you got any insight on the Portuguese government?
I don't think the Portuguese government is quite as nasty as the U.S. government towards
it's possible,
I don't
right?
trust
Anything's
anyone's
possible.
government.
I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just throwing it out there as a possible theory, another possibility, just because it sounds similar. In that other case, everybody got sick, though. I don't think they really mentioned that these people got sick from this, so that's
the extraordinary thing is either way, if it's some strange event, an unknown species from the ocean, if it's an unknown species from the upper atmosphere, or if it's a UFO and spider webs everywhere, no matter what you get out of it, you would have some kind of unbelievable answer.
It's still weird.
Yeah. No matter what it is, yeah. So they also talked to a UFO researcher named Pernagel, who believes that these beings are from the upper atmosphere.
Berengel believes that the angel hair has always existed in the upper atmosphere as a microscopic creature as yet undiscovered by science.
The more recent studies look and verify that microorganisms really do exist in the upper layers of the atmosphere. This is probably something from the kingdom of vegetables.
Of course. You've got high-altitude spiderweb vegetables that move. And these things, they've always been here, but we just never bothered to check.
The kingdom of vegetables. Oh, my God. You don't want to know the visuals that ran through my head with that right now.
Right?
But these guys
I didn't
are
realize
just
how much
flyers.
y'all would enjoy that. There's a soundboard bonus clip called Vegetables, Rob. You might as well hit it.
From the kingdom of vegetables.
The kingdom of vegetables.
Yeah, I got so excited. I thought he was going to mention some like ancient alien species, like the kingdom of like, I don't know, like the gray aliens, but instead it's the kingdom of vegetables, which puts this great image in your mind of just a planet of vegetables.
In the upper atmosphere as well.
So yes, the upper atmosphere, that's a kingdom of the vegetables. And down here, see, this is vegetable hell because we grow them, we kill them. So they're safe up there. They don't want to come down here.
I think it's more like purgatory here because we celebrate vegetables and we revere them. We do eat them as well, but I think vegetable hell would be like a garbage disposal or like composting.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we don't really know anything about kingdoms. Kingdoms aren't really our thing. But like that would probably be more K Mill's world, I guess. Like,
well, yeah, I'm just wondering who would be the king of the kingdom of vegetables. It's would it be
corn? Corn, King Corn.
Really? No,
Yeah,
those are
King Corn.
Those are just the peasants because they're everywhere. I think that like a pumpkin or something.
The Pumpkin King. We do know there is a Pumpkin King. We've heard of this guy before.
Okay, so this is
Jack
well,
Skellington.
this show is on DisneyPlus, so the Nightmare Before Christmas references are completely acceptable. This is a DisneyPlus exclusive episode. Been plugging it hard. But let's get back into this. What is it? Is it vegetable angel hair? Because like the first case, the physical evidence is compelling. So let's learn the fate of that captured angel hair sample.
In a final twist to the Evora event, in 1978, a fire takes place at the University of Lisbon, destroying the sample of angel hair.
No.
Its contents are lost forever, allowing no opportunity for advances in science to determine its origin.
Well, that's a bummer. Maybe they could have done something with it, maybe not, but they should have taken better care of their alien spider plant vegetable kingdoms.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send this angel hair back. This is burnt, so I can't. I don't want this. I'm sorry.
This is vegetable hell right now. This is
what a
pasta
weird.
hell.
Of course that would happen. Of course.
Yeah.
It never found its way home.
Yeah. We broke it. Sorry. It doesn't exist anymore. I guess there's no room for advancement in science anymore.
We didn't think there'd be a bunch of weirdos in the 2000s who cared about flying spiderweb angel vegetable kings flying around our town. We would have taken better care of it.
It sounds more and more like a cover-up. They're burning the evidence. Like,
well, I mean, Rob, that's kind of like what ends up happening over here. With not necessarily with the Roswell thing, but just like, cover-ups, you know?
Yeah.
They're just like, they're hiding them. They're like, oh, no, it was destroyed, so don't bother looking for it anymore.
Well,
everything's fine.
We only had a little tiny sample, and it burned in a fire, unfortunately.
And look, I'm sure they wouldn't have been able to do anything with it after all these years anyway, right?
It's probably still trying to keep the glass off the top of it the whole time.
Some say to this day it's still
away
struggling.
in some locker going, get this off of me.
We asked the very renowned Portuguese biologist, if we get nowadays the sample so destroyed by the years, so aged, could you do something? The scientist told us that yes.
But that will never be. All that remains are the photographs and dozens of eyewitness accounts of UFOs that flew over Evora and the still unexplained angel hair mystery.
Why would they tag the end like that? Hey, you know that thing that got destroyed? You guys couldn't solve that. And they're like, oh yeah, totally. We could have figured it out easily.
But that'll never happen.
Never happened. What a tease. Yeah. This was a total tease one. Where the other one left a little mystery, this one was like, we could have figured out the mysteries of the upper atmosphere.
We could, but we don't really feel like it. Nah.
You didn't have to tell us. You could have just said it was destroyed, and we're going, oh man, but we don't know. It was like, and they couldn't have done anything. It was aged. It was worn. They're like, yeah, we could have totally used that.
It does. It adds a little bit of weight to the whole story at the end, I guess.
How? Because it's destroyed now. Just because it's
just
possible.
Like, well, if only it didn't burn. It's just like they're really driving that point home.
This town really blew their chance at blowing up in Europe, okay, Mel?
I just think the narrator gave up on the story on that one.
He did.
So there's more to it. He's just like, I'm tired of this
done
story.
with this.
It is. This show is strange. They do feel the need to cram 3 stories into every 45-minute episode, and one of the episodes they feature the Rendlesham incident, which is huge. It's known as England's Roswell. It's a huge case in ufology. They still cram it in with 2 other cases that are kind of like this. Well, it took the majority of the show, but they were still able to riff on a couple others if it wasn't as important. Which I found that a shame. I was like, Rendlesham would deserve its own thing. I'm not touching Rendlesham.
People have actually brought that up to us before, the Rendlesham incident, and we've never touched on it before. So, I mean, that just kind of reminded me that we probably should at some point, unless it's just...
I didn't actually watch that episode, but yeah, I know all about Rendlesham. It's the biggest thing there is here.
I know, it was, which I found so weird. And Nick Pope, he is, of course, the expert on that. He is spread throughout all this, except the 3 that I picked. For some reason, Nick Pope couldn't show up either these days for these fun stories. He's got to stick to all the other ones. He doesn't know anything about Portugal or any of the other places.
I only saw him on the introductions to any of the episodes that I watched.
Yeah. The bits I picked, he's suspiciously not in any of them. He didn't want anything to do with them. I think he specifically stays to England.
He got his fee for the whole lot, so that's it for him.
It just took him 2 days of filming. He talked about 12 cases, and we didn't get to him. But you guys got any thought? We got one more, but you got any thoughts on this angel hair mystery?
A little bit. I could have swore I had seen something very similar that had happened in Spain. There was like a soccer match or something going on. I'm sorry, football. A football match that was going on, and it started, the same thing that was described, but they had actually chalked it up to it being this huge migration of spiders, a bunch of spiderlings. But I mean, then why don't we see that more often? So I'm glad that we've covered this topic, because that kind of cancels out that other one. I think that it is. I do think it's something. I think it's the vegetable kingdom from outer space.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, K-Mel?
I don't know. First it's jellyfish, then it's spiders, then it's the vegetable kingdom. I don't know. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And I really don't trust the University of Lisbon anymore.
Fair. That's fair.
All right, that's completely acceptable. But I got one more. Yeah, it's weird. So far, we've talked about UFOs with rods and balls and white ropey stuff flying around everywhere. Where's this show going? Let's clean it up for this last one. I got one more UFO Europe, and it's a quick one. And where will this be? Let's find out.
In a remote Romanian village, a wedding is in full swing. Suddenly, a massive power blackout brings the celebrations crashing to a halt.
Oh.
When villagers go to investigate, they are greeted by a surreal sight illuminating the night sky. Witnesses are captivated by the bizarre events.
We have here in Romania an incredible case which the world should see.
Nanești, Romania, 30th of June, 2001.
Yeah, now we're in Romania. This is one of the spookier of the European countries, and it also has UFOs now.
Oh, shit. Great. Vampire UFOs. We don't need that.
I've actually been to Romania, and they really believe that vampire shit.
I mean, it seems to be pretty ground into their background and their folklore.
I know it's a stereotype that they seem like very superstitious people, but they are portrayed, and this is the most modern tale, and it looks like it takes place in like the 19th century. But this is 2001 where this story happens. Electricity is involved. This is the most modern one we've covered so far by a lot, being in the 2000s. And you heard that guy.
Ooh.
You heard that guy at the end. He wants the world to see the story. I wish he wanted Americans to listen to it on a podcast, because this story was a majority of Romanian speakers with no overdubbing. So, but we got this. We'll get through this one.
At 10:30 p.m., Necula and her new husband are enjoying a wedding feast with their families. Suddenly, the festivities are interrupted when the power cuts out. But this is no prank. The blackout is affecting other parts of the village. Professor Tanasake Agafets is relaxing at home with his wife. Outside, the night sky is black and still. The power cut has plunged the entire village into darkness. Agafets takes the opportunity to look up at the stars. What the object does next is completely unexpected.
Yeah, it is unexpected. These lights that they are describing in the sky, they are these huge circular segments of light, and they are pulsating in the sky. It's very bright. It's witnessed by this professor because the power's off. It's 2001. He has nothing else to do, so he's like, I guess I'll go outside and look up. And he sees this just giant light show in the sky.
Well, geez. I mean, yeah, I would think at first that this is a very elaborate wedding and someone's put in a lot of money to have this happen.
It's not a prank. They said that.
No, not a prank. I think it's a gift.
I have to cut out all the witnesses. You're just going to have to hear from me because everyone speaks Romanian. There's no one knows English at all.
It's a good thing that you know Romanian so well, that you took that in college.
I got it. I have this. I didn't realize it was subtitled.
Can I also say that I've been to Romania and everywhere apart from the capital, Bucharest, is remote. And I get the idea that power cuts aren't really that rare.
I got that feeling, too, just by looking at what they were wearing. I know that's just where they were. I was like, yeah, power shouldn't be that big a deal. I mean, what's going on here?
I know. I think they've only just got Kajagoogoo.
Yeah, then everyone's just recently, the internet was relatively new in the scope of humanity. And so, of course, when the power goes out, it's like, what else are you going to do but go outside and look up at the sky to see if there's any more internet up there?
Yeah, they looked up. Yeah, they were like, "Is that it? Is it pulsating? It looks like a power light. It does look like a power light. Like it's segmented circles of light in the sky pulsating."
I think the modem is resetting.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Maybe this was it. They were just having a big reboot. It was 2001. Maybe this was close to 9/11 when the world rebooted. But thankfully,
Jesus Christ.
Thankfully for this, the narrator is British, and he has more to say about the Romanian lights.
For nearly 2 hours, the phenomenon sends strange beams of light down over the village before disappearing. Over the following days, the story is reported in the press. Romanian UFO investigators descend on the area looking for witnesses. Among them is former military sergeant George Kohal. Initially, residents are reluctant to discuss the events. But it soon becomes apparent that this was an extraordinary occurrence.
Yeah, so the UFO expert who doesn't speak English, he has to explain that no one in this town at all wants to talk about this event, that ufology and the sighting of UFOs is not very big. He even goes so far to say that people don't want to be called freaks. So, it kind of backs
Which is
up
strange in a country that's, like you said, so superstitious with the vampires and whatnot. But UFOs, that's crazy talk.
That's insane.
You'd think they would be like, no, this is the blood moon of the werewolf on the vampire's moon. I don't know.
Yeah.
They would be more superstitious, but they saw what they saw. They think it's just strange lights, guys.
No, it should be the new coming of the new vampire kingdom that we may or may not have something to do with vegetables.
Hey, that's a different one. Yeah, they think the vegetable vampire is going to come down and get them.
Sorry, I'm just hungry still.
From the kingdom of vegetables.
So they try to find some kind of natural explanation. It's not just werewolves. They got to find an explanation for this peculiar lights. Explanations such as this that come accompanied by Baba O'Reilly sound-alike music.
Is it possible that the strange lights could have been caused by something not in the sky, but from within the Earth? Luminous aerial phenomena have been observed during some earthquakes. Most recently, during the 2009 L'Aquila earthquake in Italy.
We have a very good study in Aquila. They collected hundreds of sightings of different light phenomena before and after the earthquake.
So this guy's saying that lights in the sky can be caused by earthquakes. You ever experienced that, Drea? You lived out west.
Yeah, all the time, but it mostly just in my own eyes. I just get weird hallucinations whenever earthquakes happen. It's a California thing. Don't worry about it.
I lived in the West Coast as well, and I was in a big earthquake in Seattle one time. There was no lights in the sky.
Yeah, it's just something that happens. People light off fireworks whenever there's earthquakes. It's just to celebrate our unique culture.
Have we all experienced an earthquake? Have all of us?
I haven't.
I haven't felt an earthquake.
Really? You guys have never been in an earthquake before?
No,
I've been in like 100 hurricanes. I live in Louisiana. We don't have earthquakes.
Hurricanes, that's baby shit. Who cares? But
yeah, I was in a 5.0 in Seattle.
Is there any seismic activity out in your neck of the woods in London? I don't think so.
Not in London, no. It's, we got nothing that can kill you here, well, apart from hemlock.
Well, it looks like parsnips,
yeah.
so.
But no, I was in a 5.0 in Seattle back in around 2000 or something, and there was no strange lights in the sky. I didn't know what the fuck was going on because I'd never experienced anything like it.
Yeah, it's always really startling, right? Was it like a swaying one back and forth, or was it like a really jolty shaking?
I was at work and it was like the bottom of the building was being rammed from underneath.
Oh,
and my computer monitor was just jumping up and down in front of me, and
that's a bizarre experience. That's got to be a bizarre
experience. It's always the worst when you're up further stories up instead of being on ground level. But yeah, sometimes if you're on the ground level and there's a swimming pool nearby, and you hear some like loud crashing, then you immediately look to the pool to see if the water sloshes up out of it.
Whoa!
But
that guess that would be a good indicator. Yeah,
a little bit, and it makes you realize at least that you're not crazy and experiencing just weird sensations yourself, that you don't need to get your brain checked out. Like, oh, okay, no, it's the planet breaking. It's fine.
It is crazy. The planet's just alive and it just does that.
Well,
nuts.
In Aquila, Italy, it supposedly happened, these lights, and here's the scientific explanation behind earthquake lights.
It's thought that earthquake lights could result from intense electrical fields created by the tectonic movement of some rocks. But for this natural phenomenon to be the catalyst in Neneshti, the region should have experienced seismic activity.
Oh, we learned something and can immediately rule it out because there was no seismic activity. Again, as another one, like a case of another thing where it's like, it seems weird to even bring it up when there's no possibility of it being true. Like, we know there's no seismic activity, but you know what? Earthquakes make like weird lights sometimes. It did it one time.
It did it once, but don't think about that. That's not what this is.
And he started the sentence off by saying, "It is thought," rather than...
Yeah, that's not a very scientific sentence.
Usually that's...
Yeah. I like those thoughts because it cues that music, and so I want people to have those thoughts more often. But it's... Yeah, it sounds like a plausible thing because we've seen weird bioluminescence kind of happen off the coast if there's like a lot of plankton or whatever, but when you don't understand the cause of it, it seems like it's just like this magical weird, like, why are the waves at night neon blue right now? But so if something happened like that with an earthquake, it could be another kind of microorganism creating some kind of
this
weird
is the attack
shit.
of the vegetable kingdom again.
Yeah.
Well, they said earthquakes are out. So if earthquakes are out, what about this theory?
In Neneshti, some witnesses see a red glow high in the sky.
When I first heard about the red light in the sky, my first thought was the planet Mars. And if you look at where Mars was, it was visible at that time. It was at its closest to the Earth, and it was very bright. And it set at midnight, so that would correspond with the timings and the red colour.
And that's not actually a bad theory, but you would think that dozens of adults would tell the difference between Mars and I don't know, flying modem buttons, whatever they're seeing in the sky.
Mars is fucking tiny. From here, anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's about 2 miles wide. It's so small and dinky.
It's like a star to us, really. It's so small in the sky. They're saying some sort of reflection from it.
Romanians are a simple people. They see a red ball, the lights went out for a little while, it's over.
Shout outs to our Romanian listeners out there.
We love you.
We love you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Shout out to my Romanian neighbors.
There you go. Yeah. You are not simple people. Russ is being simple-minded.
No,
right
not
now.
at all. I don't think it was Mars. And they rule it out too. Like I said, I don't think Romanians know all about Mars and all kind of stuff. They're into werewolves and vampires. They know what all the planets are doing, the moon and stuff. They're not getting it confused with that. That's their TV is the sky. They know the sky, so they know this is weird. And
let's change the channel.
Well, there's still one more natural explanation theory to consider.
But Nigel Henbest believes there may be a rational scientific explanation.
One other explanation could be the aurora, the northern lights. These are shifting patterns of lights that you get above the Earth's North Pole.
The Aurora Borealis, or Northern Lights, occur when charged particles emitted from the sun interact with the Earth's magnetic field.
Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. What? Well, this is on DisneyPlus, so that's why there's been Simpsons clips put all throughout. Shout out DisneyPlus.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get in their good graces. It's going to help me in Rob's Mando pod, but yeah, now that's what they think in Romania. That was my reaction. Aurora Borealis in this part of Europe at this time of year, located entirely inside these people's wedding. That's as ridiculous as the weather balloon.
Like I said, it was a very extravagant gift that somebody put together. They harnessed
I brought
Aurora
the Northern
Borealis.
Lights.
They turned it red instead of the usual colors that it is, and they said, "Here you go. Hope you have a happy marriage."
They don't even turn them on that time of year.
Yeah, they pulled out all the stops. They had some favors to cash in. They made it blood red because that's the color of a happy marriage.
They ruined a wedding with this. They turned the power off
The red
in the
wedding.
middle. That was the one thing that town had all year, was that this one girl getting married. I wish I could
It's a
play 'em, but-
celebration. They're like, "Hey, everybody, stop your lives right now. Let's focus on this wedding. This is what's happening. This is your TV now."
Yeah, we're going to turn all the music and the power off. They're going to have any fun. They can't see what they're doing. They're just going to go home to their village.
It's the most
Be
fun.
bored. Like, look at the Sky TV.
Hide from vampires.
There you go. I mean, that sounds entertaining as hell to me. No, I honestly don't believe that it was orchestrated by anything, but I don't believe it. Yeah, it couldn't possibly be the Northern Lights because they're not in the area. They're not in the north.
That was my immediate reaction to it. I'm like, it says even possible, so let's find out. Is such a thing possible?
Could they possibly be seen as far south as Romania?
When the sun heats up, as it does every 11 years, the aurora get bigger and brighter, and they spread southwards, so you can see them from the more southern latitudes in Europe. It would be very rare to see the aurora from Romania, but 2001 was a period when the sun was very active, so there could have been a very bright aurora, which you could see from Romania.
An aurora in a remote part of Europe, not used to such sights, could explain why locals were so bewildered.
All right, so I guess they're saying it is possible. Every 11 years, Aurora Borealis, and they're saying the play soundboard 7. This is every Romanian every 11 years.
That's it?
No.
I had to finish steamed hams off.
I mean, you would think that other countries would be able to see it too, because Romania is not gigantic.
Yeah, I know. It would be seen a lot of places, not just in a remote wedding in Romania.
And every 11 years? That sounds like that we would be seeing it further south every 11 years, but we don't.
Yeah, we would be having steamed ham fests in Romania every 11 years. It'd be
Steamed
great.
ham, God damn it. Here's Simpson Shepherds. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure London's further north than Romania is.
Yes.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't really look up that much, but I'm sure I would have noticed it. It would have been on the news, maybe.
Parts of the U.S., I'm sure, would have seen it too.
It's the vegetable kingdom's way of fighting vampires. Every 11 years, they wipe them out. They put the sun out at night through Aurora Borealis. You didn't know that. But actually, the Northern Lights kill vampires, too. Lesser known weakness.
I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah, no one steal that. And even if this was just Mars or the Aurora Borealis, what about the power going out? I don't think that can be explained by either Mars or that. Let's see.
But when investigators approached the power company for details of the blackout, their response only deepens the mystery. The company has no record of the blackout. Stranger still, the village has 2 electricity supply lines. It is unheard of for both to go down at the same time. But for the bride's mother, the power cut is all too real. And locals remain intrigued by what they consider to be a unique and astonishing event.
Yes, it's a European UFO mystery. But what does this power company have to hide? They won't show the records? Why are they in on this? Why
They don't want to show that they fucked up.
Again, they're implicating the infrastructure of Romania.
Yeah, I think the power cut can be explained by it being Romania.
That's what I was thinking,
to get
too.
their shit together.
They were like, "Oh, you think there's records? We don't know. What do you mean?
We have no
put the power
records.
on, we turn it off.
That never
people
happened.
give us money."
Yeah, it didn't happen. Yeah, we don't do that to our citizens.
The suggestion is that this was aliens that did this, right? I guess is really what this all comes down to.
That's what they're trying to hint at. Uh-huh.
What exactly? What were the aliens doing? What is going on here? They're just stealing, turning power off. They're just cutting the power off to this party for no reason.
They thought that they shouldn't be married.
They're not dropping balls. They're not shooting webs or anything like that. They're just crashing a wedding, and
they're just like leaving like a burnout in the sky, pretty much like a UFO burnout.
Romania.
That's
why
pretty
would you
much
flex on Romania of all countries? This is like leave them be. They're already.
I don't know. Haven't they suffered enough?
Yes.
Well, honestly, though, if I was like in that ceremony, I would see this as like a really, really bad omen. Like, you know what? I'm out of here. This is not good.
I'm sure a lot of people did. I bet you this messed up a lot of people's lives hearing about this. Because I bet they are. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are still superstitious in Romania about things like this. Yeah. Power or not, weddings or not, it's still strange.
It is strange. Maybe it was charging up. Maybe it stole the electricity for itself. It's like, we got to get out of here. Let's just steal it. There's some electric here. They don't really need this that much. We'll just take that and we'll see you guys later. And that's what you saw. You just saw the...
It's 2001. The Pentagon's not going to crash into itself.
Oh my God.
So what did you guys think about this story? You think we got so many theories, UFOs, Aurora Borealis, the Mars. It could be anything. What do you guys think? What about you, K-Mill?
I don't know.
There you go. He said it.
I really don't know about this one because any explanation they try and give is just utter bullshit. I mean, the Northern Lights. I think they saw something. It's not fucking Mars. It's not the Northern Lights. I think they saw something.
They wanted to be anything but UFOs. And I thought you would appreciate this one because this was one of the few that went nowhere. And I was like, me and K-Mill can have fun with this because we definitely have very distinct tastes in paranormal shows, and you have a great way of extracting on your show. I don't know.
So they didn't even have really good witnesses either.
No.
It was. Yeah, I don't know.
I did my best to relay what the witnesses were saying. The witnesses, were all Romanian. It was just like the mother of the bride and a couple of guys, and the narrator. They pulled a lot of weight in this. So, what did you think of it, Drea?
This is one of the very few where I have to second K-Mill and be like, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I usually have an opinion, one way or the other, but I don't know what the hell this was. This just is this is an unsolved mystery.
Yeah, as even how it ended up on this show. What about you, Rob?
I will also say, in the end, the conclusion, I think we all don't know, pretty much. We don't know.
We don't know.
Nobody knows what's going on here. We don't have enough information, really. We have mixed information. It's a weird one. I don't know what's happening here.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's fun to talk UFOs, though, and I'm glad we could do it with K-Mill. And there were so many stories on this show that I wanted to do that we could just...
maybe like I said, sometime, eh?
Yeah, we'll have to do another one, or maybe we'll do Rendlesham with K-Mill one day. We'll do something close to you. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I'd love to. I've got to watch the rest of this season because, I didn't shout at the TV a lot. Because it was quite entertaining.
Yeah, it is. So we'll get into more. We'll definitely do something like this again. But for now, let's get out of this UFO Europe.
Beneath apocalyptic snowflakes from above, we're not in peril, we are in apocalypse. So let's go walking or Christmas shopping, or let's do something a bit more shocking. Let's go to the windmill, let's find some catharsis. Let's go to the graveyard and cover up darkness. And it's okay, I've done this tons of times. Well, maybe once a year since I was very young. It will be fine, okay, I do this all the time. And nothing could go wrong unless that's what you like. Is this the first time that you've ever seen Aurora Borealis crush mankind?
You guys recognize that band? That's Lemon Demon, the band who did the Jeff the Mongoose song.
I love that song.
That's Aurora Borealis from Lemon Demon. Very cool.
Good tie-in.
They're a cool band.
Yeah, what did you think about this? This was a lot of fun having you on, man.
Oh yeah, this is great. Seeing how it works, seeing how you do it a lot better than I do, a lot more professionally. But no, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it was man. Like I said earlier, we've been trying to get you on for so long, and during that time, you actually won poll results for episode 69, the episode where we had Phoebe and Seb and Cav on. You won. So guess what? Now that you're stuck here with us and we finally have you overseas on the line here, we're going to make you play the Rob Oakey Soundboard Challenge.
Hey, yay.
Oh my God! Moment complete. Real nasty.
You know they like to be called like a sea.
Oh God, I forgot how ridiculous that was. We need to play the game
so
more.
Good. That is a masterpiece.
Oh wow!
All right, well,
Hell
K
yeah.
Mill, you're out of guest host mode. Welcome to being a contestant because you were on the Rob Oakey Soundboard Challenge, the only unbelievable game where we will play 10 soundboard clips for you, and you will be awarded 1 point if you know what episode it was or what it's referring to, and you will get 2 points if you know who actually said it. If you know the person's name who said the clip, that's 2 points. So, Rob Oakey, do you have your 10 sound clips ready?
I got 10 soundboard clips, all of them from season 2 of the Unbelievers podcast.
Oh, boy.
Good new stuff. All right. So here we go, and we'll give you a lifeline. Rob knows what all these are. You can either... I'll just give you Drea. Drea, you'll be his...
Oh, that's a good option. That's
yeah,
good.
I think I actually saw the list, so I'm being completely honest. I
didn't know that I was going to be picked as a lifeline, but
there
I'm
we go. And K Mill didn't know he was playing the game, so this is perfect.
No,
so, all right.
I'm prepared.
Rob, we got 2 minutes on the clock. K Mill, are you ready to play?
I guess, yeah.
Here we go. Hit him, Rob.
This is what I call winged weirdies.
Oh, winged weird. Drea.
It's the Winged Weirdies episode. At least I know
Okay,
that.
there you go. 1 point. That's the episode. That's right.
Hairy blackness.
Hairy blackness.
Hairy blackness. Oh, it's
hairy blackness.
That's the it's a Sasquatch type thing.
You're getting
no,
close. The beast of...
Oh, it's... No, I'm going to have to pass.
You can pass. Go to the next one.
Is that Bashar?
Okay, next one.
Don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm the weatherman.
I'm the weatherman. He's the friendly weatherman.
All right, I'll actually give you that. Go next.
Like a type of rat in between rat and monkey.
So there's rat monkey.
No, I'm going to have to pass.
Skip. Go next.
A very large, straight-on, hard-on.
It's got to be rods.
All right, next.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life in plastic is fantastic.
Oh shit! Oh, is this the toy box one? No, it's not. No, pass again.
You can skip. Go ahead.
The only hat I ever wear now is my scrambled eggs.
You know who says that.
Oh, yeah, that's Coast to Coast AM.
You say his name. You know him, Mr. Pizza Rolls.
It's Pizza Rolls.
The pressure's
Coast
on.
AM.
I'll give you the point. Go next. You knew Coast to Coast.
Oh, that's the chick with the OnlyFans. She's shagging Michael Jackson's ghost.
Okay.
Yes.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, you got that. I'll give you the point for knowing who that was. So you ended up with 5 points through that. Very good, very good, very good.
Well, it's late, you know.
Yeah, I know. Oh, this is torture. Yeah, this was definitely unfair, but we definitely had you on. And
you were definitely
did well.
bamboozled. We bamboozled you a little bit on this one, but you did pretty good.
Yeah, I think Rob really likes to bamboozle people, so like you made him really happy for this round.
Yeah.
Hey, it doesn't matter. You're on the board. It's fine. And you can always come back. And we want you back as a co-host, too, at some point. But let's bring in this week's competitor. And it is our champion so far this season. Welcome back to the show, The Machinist. How you doing, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, man. It's great to have you back. Last time we spoke was when we did the Thomas Reed Unsolved Mysteries. And I just want to let you know, he definitely heard our episode. So, and he let us know. So he's heard you, and you, he probably feels the same about you. But it's good to have you here, ready to play the game. You are winning this season. You got 20 points, and we're gonna play the soundboard game again. So Rob's gonna play 10 soundboard clips. We'll give you 1 point if you know where the episode's from. 2 if you know the specific person saying it. We're gonna put 2 minutes on the clock. Machinist, are you ready to play the Rob Oakey soundboard challenge?
It's game time, bitches.
Hey. All right, Rob, hit the clock.
All right, here we go.
Is what I call winged weirdies.
Oh, damn it. I don't know that guy.
Remember, you can skip or use Dre as a lifeline.
I'll skip for that one.
Okay.
Hairy blackness.
Hairy blackness.
Hairy
That
blackness.
was a Bigfoot one. I don't skip that one too.
All right, next. All right, I can't repeat that, but
no, skip that one for now.
All right, let's skip that one next.
Don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm the weatherman.
Oh, that was a desert episode. Nope. Go.
All right, next. Go next one.
Like a type of rat in between rat and monkey.
That was about that was the Wing Weirdies one. That was
okay. Yeah, you got next one.
A very large, straight-on, hard-on.
Oh, that was about the Shining there.
Yep. Next.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
Oh, that was the Haunted Dolls episode.
Life in plastic.
Right. Next.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
The only hat I ever wear now is my scrambled eggs.
Yeah, that's George Norrie.
Okay, yeah, you got it. It's a 2-pointer. Go. Next.
It's the channeler for Michael Jackson. What's her face?
All right. Give him the last one. I'll give the point for that. He knew that.
That's a floating lantern. You're not getting away from me.
What's his face? Dylan something. Dylan.
Oh, yeah, I think that's actually it. All right, we'll give it time. Give it time. It didn't matter. Wow. So K-Mill came in with a not so very strong 5 points on that. You ended up with 7 points. You got 7 points. George Norrie put you over the top with it. Hard list this time, Rob. Surprisingly hard. Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. Well, these are all from season 2, so these are all
Very
recent
fresh.
episodes. So yeah, they're pretty fresh ones. I'm sorry. I make my games tough. What can I say?
Yeah, I kept.
It's a challenge.
Leonardo Santiago or what? I couldn't think. I don't know if that's his name or not. But the guy with the rat thing.
Yeah, and
Jaime.
Jaime Maussan. And yeah, that was Kathleen Roberts, of course, the Michael Jackson channeler. But you knew that one already, so that was good enough. Yeah, we're trying to forget her name too. Well, thanks so much. And now you're taking a way more commanding lead. You're at 27. The closest to you right now is sitting at 8 points. That'd be Man Called Host. We got Boner Yogurt at 7. So. Hey, and if we're playing a game every 2 months, man, I think you got this one locked up, but we'll see. We'll try to play some more.
Yeah, I just want to plug Amelia's, the ghost hunting in New England. Speaking about, Thomas Reed there, she's going to be having that interview. I don't know if you guys already mentioned that, but
we have not. And we're excited. Yeah, she has. I don't think she's recorded it yet, but yes, Tom Reed.
It's coming up next week, and this is my rendition of.
All right, for everyone, perfect. He's Mackinus just held up.
He describes it as a giant turtle shell.
Yep.
Yeah,
it looked like it.
I hope she gets to the bottom of the turtle shell with them. I want to know all about all those models that are taking pictures in the park right now. Very exciting
about
thing.
The bug people that accosted his grandma. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure all our questions are going to be answered very soon. But thank you so much, Mackinus, and we'll talk to you again next time we play the game. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Bye.
And now it's time for the Unbelievers voice mailbag.
The Unbelievers mailbag.
Ooh, right in the mailbag.
Hey man, check your mailbox.
Hey, you got some new mail over here.
Mailbag. The mailbag is cool. Mailbag.
Sup, bitches? It's mail time.
Yeah, mail time indeed. And we're going to do something a little different before we hear some of our voicemails, because we got something insane sent to us recently from Unbeliever Corrupted Mask. Corrupted Mask, voicemail superstar, and you've heard him many times mention his favorite adult performer, Violet Monroe. Yes?
Okay, I'm excited.
Of course.
So
yes.
We've heard, very exciting, yes, we've heard Corrupted Mask mention Violet Monroe quite a few times, and he just took it to the next level. People are always taking it to the next level, and we love it when they do. So let's hear what Corrupted Mask got Violet Monroe to send in to us. Let's hear it.
Hello, Unbelievers. This is Violet Monroe, and I am speaking on behalf of Corrupted Mask. I'm here to remind you that once again the term Bigfoot only refers to cryptids reported in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. If it's from anywhere else, it is not a Bigfoot. It's a hairy biped. But either way, keep listening to the Unbelievers podcast, where you continue to learn to unlearn everything you know.
So
wow.
That was amazing.
That is so unbelievable. He got Violet Monroe to tell us once and for all that Bigfoot is just in the Pacific Northwest, and if there's a hairy biped in any other part of the world, it is just a hairy biped. And I tend to believe her. Coming from her, I believe it.
She's got the voice of credibility. She sounds like a scientist.
And Corrupted Mask, if you can't see me right now, I'm doffing my cap to him.
Nice. That was seriously, that's a prize for us. That was amazing.
Yeah, we gotta say thank you to Violet Monroe for that awesome message. And thank you to Corrupted Mask. Exactly.
Yeah, I think we have an official adult entertainer now, Violet Monroe. This is great.
It's better than the OnlyFans account that we got before. She wouldn't say anything for us, that other one.
Yeah,
that's right. There are so many things. There are so many things you can get adult entertainers to do or say for money. But to get them to say that Bigfoot is just in the Pacific Northwest and everything else a hairy biped, that is such a baller move. I am so impressed by that. I mean, I'm still in shock. Every time it's a video on our Twitter. She is saying this in the video. This is one of the most amazing things that's ever happened with this show. So thank you so much. Keep it coming. We need more Violet Monroe. She even said, "Learn to unlearn everything you know."
That was so good.
Yeah, you guys. Everybody's got to go to the Twitter.
The camera. The video really sells it even more.
Everybody's got to go to the Twitter just to see the look on her face as she's explaining that Bigfoot is a biped, a hairy biped.
I think all of this information turns her on even more. So I think we're helping each other out at this point.
This was probably the highlight of her day. I can't imagine what she does. This is great. I'm so happy. That's so. Thank you so much, Corrupted Mask. You've definitely taken it to the next level. People always taking it to the next level, and that's what we love. But let's get now. It's been a bit of off time for voicemails. We need y'all to step it up if y'all want to send some voicemails in. But we did get some weird voicemails, all from the same person, I think. So let's see what's going on here.
Hello? Is this Rob? Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Looking for you, Rob.
This is not my personal cell phone number, by the way. So
he
you can call it.
He sees it. If you want to talk just to Rob, this is your line to get right to him anytime of day.
This is Rob's personal cell phone.
Yeah, this is just the beginning, though. And I know it's no Violet Monroe, but this gets better.
Yeah, here's another one.
Come in, Rob. Over. What is he doing?
That's a Joshua P. Warren thing, right? The come in, Rob, over.
You missed. Yeah. He threw in at the end there, if you listen closely.
Come in, Rob. Over. What is he doing?
Oh, yeah. I recognize that now. Man called host bullshit.
Yeah.
Rob's getting his own soundboard just off these voicemails coming in just for Rob. I love the Rob centricity. Let's hear some more.
Is this a real show?
Yeah, wow, that was the whole voicemail. Now it's turning into its own soundboard.
It is becoming its own soundboard. I think there's just one more. Let's hear it from Rob's number one fan.
No, there's 4 more. There's 4.
Oh, goodness.
There's
all right.
4 more. Yeah, so this is...
Wait, what is going on? This is just happening while we're recording? All right, let's hear it. Go through it.
Fuck you, Beverly. Trying to leave a voicemail for the Unbelievers. Oh, God damn it. I'm going to have to do it over. Beverly!
God damn it, Beverly.
And it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. There's
okay,
more.
These are new to me. Let's hear it.
I wish JC and Bigfoot were my dads. That way I could be God's 10-star general. But I could also rip off your arms and show them to you if you fuck with me.
Jesus. I don't remember that part.
I like that energy.
We talked about somebody ripping off arms, because I remember we talked about Chewbacca ripping off arms. So he's definitely throwing references out there. This guy he's studying. He's actually studying the show.
This is Rob, guys. This is Rob Champion. The Rob Champ we're hearing right here.
Rob Champ.
And he left us 2 more. We have 2 more.
Let's play them both. Let's play them both.
Oh, a floating lantern. Oh, you're not getting away from me.
The footsteps.
Oh, man.
Yes, extra points for the footsteps.
I hope
sure.
that he actually ran.
Actually running.
He drops his phone and runs away from it.
Oh, a floating lantern.
Listen to the footsteps.
You're not getting away from me.
You can tell they're moving. He's not staying in place doing this. This is very kinetic. I love it.
Okay, and then there's one final one, the grand finale of his messages.
Right.
I guess he was exhausted at this point, but here we go.
Hey, Unbelievers, do I have a story to tell you? So this... hold on a sec. There's a bowl sitting there on this table in this room. I just walked in. I gotta go.
No.
Valid. That is a legitimate reason to need to end a phone call. If I see an empty bowl, I know what has to be done.
He didn't say it was empty. We don't know what he's doing with the bowl.
Oh, right. It's just a bowl. Oh, God.
He had to go.
Thank you so much, Rob Champ, and thank you so much again, Corrupted Mass. Getting Violet Monroe. K-Mill, what did you think of that? How crazy was the Violet Monroe?
That's incredible. I'm just full of praise for Corrupted Mass for that.
Yeah, Corrupted Mass is a really good dude. He's won poll results a bunch of times, and he usually just defers to a PSA, but we like these kind of PSAs too, so keep them coming if you can. We want to hear some more, so thank you so much, and let's get out of this Unbelievers voice mailbag.
The Unbelievers mailbag.
Ooh, right in the mailbag.
Hey, man, check your mailbox.
Hey, you got some new mail over here.
Mailbag. The mailbag is cool. Mailbag.
Sup, bitches? It's mail time. Woo!
Oh yeah, that was a great one. That's why we wanted to have you stick around for that K-Mill. So before you go though, I want to say thank you so much for being on. We can't wait to have you back. Everyone go check out your show, but I'm sure that's what you want to plug. So do you have anything you want to say or plug before you get out of here?
Yeah, just listen to I Don't Know the podcast. And also my friends at Professor and the Madman have a new album out called Seance.
Nice.
They're a great band. It's 2 members of the Adolescents and 2 members of the Damned forming a punk supergroup.
I love the Adolescents.
So good. I love the Damned.
Kids of the Black Hole is Kids of the Black Hole is like one of my favorite punk songs of all time. So good.
Yeah, they're good buddies of mine. So check those out and listen to I Don't Know the podcast.
Yeah, of course we will, man. We're loving it. Thank you so much for being on. And we got to get out. We got a couple more things to do, but thank you so much for being on, K-Mill.
Thanks for having me on. It's been a delight.
For sure.
All right, congrats again, Mackinus. Sorry about that, K-Mill. But now it's time for everyone's third favorite segment, poll results. This week's poll. What is the hodag? Oh, remember that thing, guys? And the choices were tulpa, pinata, t-shirt money, or other. So I'm going to ask you, Drea Moro, what do you think the Unbelievers said?
T-shirt money.
All right, how about you, Rob Oakey?
Technically, I think it was a lot of those things. It's probably T-shirt money and also
a T-shirt piñata.
Just a piñata, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm going to go with piñata, though.
Oh, congratulations, Drea Mora with 13.33% of the vote. T-shirt money. That's what a hodag is.
True, that is true.
Piñata in second. And, of course, there are others. What is the hodag? I got the hoe bag with the old classic stick and sponge. Signed Voodoo. All right.
Nice.
The old stick
like
and
a hobo.
sponge. Good job. What is a hodag? Hodag went into this room. There was a bowl in the table. You know the rest. Signed Pants Filler.
Oh.
Oh,
I thought that was gonna be
hodag
Harley
bowl. Oh,
Warren.
no.
Have any bowls?
Whoops.
Oh, there you go. We got a new bowl in there.
Hold
All
on,
right,
I'm
thank
just
you
gonna
so much.
Hold on, let me play the actual bowl.
We went to this room. There was this bowl on this table, and I was supposed to ejaculate into the bowl.
I don't know. I want the Tom Froelich one instead. But thank you so much, to who?
Be throwing up and filling my pants.
All right. What is the hodag? The idea that monkeys were the cause of this incident is totally ridiculous. Signed, Unbeliever Braden.
I agree.
The idea that monkeys was the cause of this incident was totally ridiculous.
Totally. Thank you, Unbeliever Braden. What is the hodag? If the lizard man gets a sandwich, can we give the hodag a hot dag? Hot dag? Signed Spermy Paracox. I don't know. Man, lizard man, you got me thinking about.
I'll play your watchdog and do the lizard man stomp.
Yeah, hopefully we do.
I missed that song.
Me too. Hopefully we do a hodag stomp soon. Come on, Aaron. But great one. I really like that one, Spermy Paracox. What is the hodag? We just need a bit of T-shirt money up front. Signed, Brian Frangie. Oh.
Whoa. What up,
all
Brian?
right. Brian! Doing the T-shirt money. Who is that?
Ask women.
Okay. Thanks, Brian. What is the hodag? I'm a hobag. You're a hobag. Hell, we're all hobags. Screaming shotgun blast. Signed, The Bookish Man. Screaming shotgun blast. God, that was so loud. All right, thanks, Bookish Man. What is the hodag? It's another name for a juicy blood log. Signed, Rococo Style.
Oh, shit.
I like Rococo Style, and it's great to hear about blood logs. It's really good when we don't have clips for it. Well, what is the hodag? I wish it was fucking Battle Cat from He-Man. You know, the guy who's more powerful than Jesus? Signed, Brendan. I don't know. Nice. He-Man powerful. What about
Skeletor, the master of the universe?
All right, still a really good one, Brendan. What is the hodag? I went in this room and there was this hodag and it was supposed to ejaculate into the hodag. Sorry, Harley Warren. I felt like Ralph Wiggum signed on there. Okay, good one, Harley Warren. Let's hear it.
We went to this room. There was this bowl on this table, and I was supposed to ejaculate into the bowl.
Yes, thank you so much, Harley Warren. Can't wait for our new project to come out. What is the hodag? I haven't heard anyone put forth this theory, but the hodag is actually Bowser from the Mario made Manifest in Our World. From Mario. Yeah, made Manifest in Our World. Signed Blue Box UFO. Yeah, okay, he's saying it's actually Bowser.
I said that on this episode, so...
Yeah, I think we talked... It's a Koopa.
Yeah, I think maybe he's... I don't know. I'll give it to him, though. Whatever.
No, it's Blue Box UFO. Right. You're ripping him off. What is a hodag? Horse? Monster? Yo mama? Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Signed, Unbeliever Carol.
How did I know that was Carol?
Because I didn't say yo mama. I don't know.
You might be thinking, horse? Monster?
Your mom? I love it, Carol.
All right, but she's got, of course, have to add in. That was a great one. Great one, Carol. What is the hodag? Throw some ketchup and mustard on it, and you got yourself a happy 4th. Signed! Signed Buck and Rudd. You got it, Buck and Rudd. And that's the final one for tonight. Thanks, everyone. Again, we just got this poll up yesterday, so I appreciate everyone signing off. So many great ones here. I'll read out a few. We had.
Cow, that was no Buck and Rudd.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. Yes, thank you, Buck and Rudd. Sorry. We had some great ones this week. We had Voodooed with I Got the Hoe Bag with the old classic stick and sponge. Pants Filler with Hodag went in this room. There was a bowl. You know the rest. Unbeliever Braden with the idea that monkeys were the cause of this incident is totally ridiculous. We had Spermy Paracox with if the lizard man gets a sandwich, can we give the Hodag a hot dag? Sure. We had Brian Frangie with we need a bit of t-shirt money up front. We had the Bookish Man. I'm a hoe bag. You're a hoe bag. Hell, we're all hoe bags. Oh, sign up. Thank you. We have we had Rococo Style with It's Another Name for a Juicy Blood Log. We had Brendan with I Wish It Was Fucking Battle Cat from He-Man. You know the guy's more powerful than Jesus. We had Harley Warren with the winners from, and it was his Hodag, and I was supposed to ejaculate in the Hodag. We had Blue Box UFO. I haven't heard anyone put forth this theory, but the Hodag's actually Bowser from Mario, made manifest in our world. We have Unbeliever Carol with Horse, Mama Monster, Yo Mama, whoosh, 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 whoosh. And, of course, Buck and Rut with throw some ketchup and mustard on it, and you got yourself a happy 4th. I'm going to leave it up to Drea Mora again. I'm going to let you pick this one.
Oh, man. This one's really, really, really hard, but I think just because he's got this shtick every single time, and this time it was changed up of instead of ejaculating into a bowl, I want to give it to Harley Warren. With
wow. All right. Oh, man. Look how macking this. Now the ringer's coming back in the ring.
I love all of the hot dog puns, though.
Yeah, I really did.
Great hot dog puns from everybody. You know,
Spermy Paracox was right up there for me.
I love give the Hodag a hot dog. That's fantastic. I mean, you got to give those guys credit.
Yeah, give the Hodag a hot dag from Spermy Paracox. Great runner-up, but hey... Harley Warren, you've been chipping away at this all year. Same comment. You finally paid off. So congratulations with, I went into this room and there was this Hodag and I was supposed to ejaculate into the Hodag. No. Harley Warren, you just won this week's poll results. Wow. And they said it wouldn't happen this year, but it did. Congratulations. I'm honestly shocked. It's great.
He's been just ejaculating into so many bowls over and over and over again all season, this guy.
The silent surprise of us. They said it wouldn't happen this year.
I've got a shock it finally did. I was thinking,
me too. I'm surprised as hell.
But
yeah, Spermy Paracox was my second. I was so stuck right there. I didn't know. But
yeah, really, really great. Before we go, Drea Mora, do you have anything you'd like to say or plug?
Well, I'm going to have to shamelessly plug my other podcast, as per usual. That's Spirits and Spirits. We're on Instagram at Spirits and Spirits Pod and on Twitter at Ghost Drinkers. We have a couple episodes coming up with some featured people that you may recognize from the community here. So, yeah, that'd be great if you tune in.
Very exciting. Very exciting. What about you, Rob?
You can check out my Instagram at Rob Oki, and if you want to start your own podcast, you can check out at Oki Audio on Instagram, or you can message me at okiaudio at gmail.com. And what else? Our
He's
Twitch.
really good at it.
Yeah. You know, I had a consultation with someone a couple days ago about starting their podcast, and it went really well. So if anybody else wants to do something like that, needs to talk to somebody, hit me up.
There you go. Hit up.
Also, check out our Twitch. Our Twitch is really fun. We're going to be playing some games on there soon. We tried to play some games last week. We're going to try some other games very soon. So definitely check out the Twitch Friday nights and then randomly.
Yeah. And I'll just again plug I Don't Know Pod and thanks again to Kay Mill for being on. Go check out the I Don't Know Pod. It's a really, really great show. The Unbelievers podcast hosts today were Drea Mora, Kay Mill, and me, Russ Ryan. Our producer and soundboard engineer is Rob Oki. You can join our Patreon by going to patreon.com/unbelieverspodcast. So follow the show on Twitter at UnbelieversPod and Instagram at UnbelieversPodcast. Our Facebook group is the Unbelievable Podcast Network. Check out our merch store at cafepress.com/UnbelieversPodcast. And thank you so much to our patrons, Pam Z, JT Spranklin, Vic Voss, Robert Groom, Little BP, Dr. Ortega, Tyler Ventura, Adam Dvorak, Corrupted Mass, Michael Phillips, Weary Exile, Carol Valley, Manny, MQ Ultra, CJP, Braden Hitt, Raymond Rowell, Todd X, Christopher Panici, The Moon, The Judgy Moon, Mike Henry, Bryce Cronenberger Jr., Don Bright, Shannon Ferrigno, Tom O'Connell, Mark Braun, Donna Bands, Jenna Stevens, Cat Chaos, Jason Kelly, Mike, Brian Ashton, Michael Armento, Jackass, and the Wombat Preservationists. Our official composer and theme song creator is Unbeliever A.A. Ron, a.k.a. Aaron Schild. Go check out his show, Nashville Tour Stop. Our official graphic designer and card maker who designed our logo is Raymond Roel. Check out his work at P. Raven Creative on Twitter and Project Raven Creative on Instagram. Our official Hawaii Bigfoot hunter is Jeremy Pascal. Our official resident Sagittarius is Anton. Our official madman is Unbeliever Adam. Our official Mothman enthusiast is Michael Shields. Our official Unbelievers MUFON Inside Man is Christe Moraes. Our official Unbeliever peacefully eating a hamburger is Michelle Durham. Our official Unbelievers time traveler is Taylor Nelson. Our official ghost hunter is Amelia Childs and Ghost Hunting in New England. Our official senior European correspondent is K Mill of the I Don't Know podcast. Our official guardian of the bench is that Kraken Stacker. Our official alien bopper is Nunchuck Bob. And this week's Unbeliever focus is Rick from the Discord, who thinks that Bigfoot is responsible for all the disappearances in national parks. But I disagree, and I corrected him by saying, first, those are hairy bipeds, as Violet Monroe taught us, and secondly, I'm pretty sure most of his diet comes
from the kingdom of vegetables.
Good night. Skinner.
Enjoy the moonrise and let it destroy us. It's okay as long as we believe we'll be okay. As if anything could go wrong on Christmas Eve. Okay, you know I'm glad you're here so I can show you this before I disappear. Is this the first time that you've ever seen Aurora Borealis crush mankind? A flashlight underneath my chin, a pretty winter night, your hand in mine. Now we're swallowed by the fog from the breath of everyone. I can barely see you now, but your smile is a frown. Yeah, I knew it had to stop, 'cause I always mess it up. And I get it if you run, I just had to share with someone.
Discontinue.